Okay, today I am joined by a very special eBay reseller that is near and dear to me. Why? Because she is not only my BFF, but she was my very first student when I started teaching eBay through the Education Specialist program back in 2007. So Miss Deborah, aka Debbie Clinton, has come a long way since then, building her eBay brand, the Southern Cottage. So welcome, my dear friend.
Well, thank you.
You want to let everybody know where you're at?
In Ocala, Florida.
Ocala, Florida. It's a great town, I hear.
And you left us.
Yeah. I left you. Yes, I used to live there. But, you know, we move on sometimes. So, Debbie, why don't you share with everybody, how did you come up with the name, the Southern Cottage?
I don't know. I just felt like it was like a boutique. Southern, the cottage, made it look welcoming, you know, but I tried everything. I couldn't figure anything else out. So,
okay,
Southern Cottage was all that I could come up with.
So it was a good fit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really good fit because you like to cook.
Oh, yeah.
And and you like to cook Southern food, and you like to have a lot of people come over and eat.
That's right. So it just fits. Everything fits.
Yep. So what kind of things are you selling?
Right now, I'm selling a lot of clothes. What I do is I have a lot of name brands that I'll start an auction at $9.99. They pay the shipping. I buy a lot of clothes for $2, no more than $2, unless it's really something that I know I'm going to get tons of money for. So I start the auctions. I run about 100 auctions at a time. It draws the people in to the rest of the store to buy the other items, and it works, and it really works. So I have a pretty good sale by the end, the end of the auctions, 7-day auctions.
Okay. Any particular day you start them on? Or?
Well, I used to think it was a certain day, but right now I don't think so. I just start them every day. I list stuff every day.
Okay. So is this when you decide to do auctions, is it the first time you're listing them, or is it old inventory?
Well, it is a lot of times the first time I'm listing them. Now, if I want to get rid of things, I just start them at 99 cents and they pay the shipping. Yep. And at the end of the 7 days after they've been in my store forever, if it doesn't go, it goes in the donation box.
Okay. Okay. So you must have a lot of shipping every week.
I do. Almost every day I have about 20, 25 packages that go out.
Nice.
And I get the poly bags. I Ziploc bag it. Make sure all the shirts, everything is cleaned, ironed, Ziploc, put them in a Ziploc, put them in a poly bag, and send them out first class. Unless, of course, they're over a pound.
So you even iron them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I do. Make sure they're clean. Wow. And a lot of times I'll go to a upper class clothes, and the clothes are already dry clean with the tags on them. So I don't really have to. But I do still iron them to send them off. Even though they get a little wrinkled, at least I know that that's what I did. Straightened them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you have very many returns? Because at least I would think that if you're ironing them, you can really inspect.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have a lot of returns at all, And when I do list them, I put in the description the size, the chest, shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to hem, and sleeves. The measurements on everything. So this way people don't bombard me with questions.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a good rule to have all the measurements in there like that. It avoids
Right.
questions.
And
Now,
yeah.
what if you discover, have you had that happen where when you're ironing it and you've sold it, maybe that you discover there's a button missing or a stain or something
Well, yeah.
before you ship it?
Yeah, well, I would just notify the person and just cancel the order if they want to still cancel
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah.
Or sometimes what I
Yeah.
do is I send the shirt with all the money that they paid and I put it in there and send it back to them. So they have the shirt, tell them what happened, and their money's in there. I put the money in the
Oh,
bag, let it go. So I don't,
wow. That's a good
yeah,
idea because then you don't have to worry about a
yeah,
charge back on
exactly.
your eBay
So,
account.
and I've done that a few times, you know, through the years, and I've never had a problem. Mm-mm.
Okay.
So that was,
Yeah, that's a good tip.
hmm
I've not thought of that.
yeah, yep,
So do you put cash
I
in
do.
there? You
I do.
do?
I
Wow.
put cash in there in a little tiny envelope inside the bag and with a note saying that I'm sorry, I did not see this, but I'm sending the shirt and your money back. And I've always, it doesn't happen a lot, but I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
hmm
Wow. I bet they're
Yeah,
shocked.
they're like, why is she sending me this money and the shirt too?
Did they leave you feedback? Did
Oh
they say
yeah, they did. They
anything?
give me good feedback. Yeah, I have 100%
Uh-huh.
feedback. So I guess I've been
Nice.
selling since what, 2001, but really selling since 2009 when we had the crash, you know.
Yeah.
So I really got into it full time in 2009.
Yeah. That was well, you started off, you were a full-time
Hairdresser, yeah, I
hairdresser.
was making $1,300 a week easy. And when 2009 came around, I was lucky I was doing $300 a week. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do? And I said, oh, that's right, Danna, eBay, let's go. So I started out with the free listings. I forget how many free listings I had, but then I got overbearing because I had to pay for the extra listings. So I said, well, you got to be serious or not? So I wound up getting a store. So I've had the store for a long time.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And I did sell a lot of vintage, but when my son moved in, I had no way of, you know, everything became a disaster. So I quit selling the things I couldn't find. So I just got into the clothes.
Okay.
hmm
All right. So, do you mind sharing where you get, how do you go about finding your
Okay, well,
your
I
sourcing?
go to the villages, and they have a few places in there that are very reasonable. And the clothes you get, Tommy Bahami, Lily Pulitzer, $2 a piece. And majority of
Mm-hmm.
times they're in excellent shape. A lot of times the people don't even wear them. You can tell, you know.
Really?
But I think it's a law. If they put things out in the thrift store, they have to take the tags off of it. I think that is. Yeah, I
Really?
think so. Because I'm just wondering, there's sometimes they're just new, and you know they're new. They're still starched, and the tags are gone. You know, the sale
Huh.
tags. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think that's, they have to remove them. But I'll sell it at new
Interesting.
without tags, you know.
Yeah. So that's probably maybe the rule at that thrift store,
Right. It may
which is
be.
surprising.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think so. I don't know. But,
Huh. Okay. So you found yourself a good hot spot
oh, yeah.
then.
It's probably about an hour away from me, and I go there maybe once a month.
Okay.
So, and then they have linens. The linens are reasonably priced. Yeah, I get really nice high-end linens. So I do sell
Okay.
them. hmm
So what's that like finding, I mean, what kind of linens? Could you give us some tip? I wouldn't know one linen from the
Okay,
next.
your Ralph Lauren, for instance. Some years ago, I had a top sheet of Ralph Lauren, and I thought, I'll just put it on line 19.99. Well, it went in a split second, and I was really curious. They must have been on a waiting list or something because I didn't have it listed 5 minutes. So I looked at the lady's store, and she sells nothing but vintage Ralph Lauren for $300 and up to $4,000. So from then
Wow.
on, I realized that Ralph Lauren, even if it's pillowcases, go for money. Yes,
Wow.
because I don't.
That's
I
amazing.
don't think they're made. Once the print's done, that's it. They go to another print. So people do. This woman does sell the sets at high prices, vintage.
Wow. Wow. And then how do you know what the style is? I mean, the pattern.
Okay,
Are you able to identify?
okay. All I do is go over to Google and do the picture. Take the
Okay.
picture.
So you use Google Lens.
Right. Take the picture,
Yeah, Google
and
Lens.
here it comes. And sometimes I forget the design, so I do.
Yeah.
I do the design, the picture lens, the Google Lens. So it really does help me a
Yeah.
lot.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. I know. I remember you told me one time you were selling beach towels.
Oh yes, old vintage beach towels are a big time seller.
Crazy.
I sold a Mario Brothers beach towel vintage. I sold that for like $55, $65 somewhere in there, and I think I gave $2 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, beach towels are pretty good.
That's funny. Yeah, I would have never thought about beach towels.
I know,
but
isn't it? Beach towels, but a lot of times your linen, your Pottery Barn. If you find Pottery Barn, you don't even have to look that up. If the price is right.
Yeah, I have a Pottery Barn item on it right now.
Yep.
So yeah, I know what you mean on that. But I learned that from you about the blankets,
Yeah,
actually. And you gave me a great tip on how to ship them.
Oh, the poly bags, the large poly bags,
Yeah.
it saves a lot of pounds.
Yes.
Your box is what? Probably 3 or 4 pounds sometimes. So there's your money.
Yeah,
for shipping.
that big.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the big poly bags, I forget how big they are, but I put them
24 by 24.
Right, okay. So I, excuse me, I put them in one of them white trash bags, and then put them in the big poly bag, and off it goes. And I've never had a problem. Never, sending quilts or sheets or anything like that. Never had a problem.
Yeah, that's a really good tip because when you told me that, I went on eBay and I bought the 24 by 24 poly bags. So they came because I didn't want to list it until I was 100% sure it would fit in that bag. So once I got the bags, then I folded it
sometimes
up.
when the bag doesn't fit, I cut both sides and I tape them.
Oh, and put two bags together?
Right. I've done that a lot of times.
Have
when
you?
I run in with them
That's a
big
good
poly
idea.
bags. So yes, I do. I cut the sides of them, tape them up, and off they go.
That's a really good idea because I made sure it all fit and it fit in there. And then once I closed it up, then I weighed it. And I think it was like 5 pounds something. And then I listed it with the accurate weight and dimensions. Then I listed it. So I think that it was better to make sure, especially if you're new like me, to selling a blanket in a bag.
Right, yeah. But I've never, I've sold a lot of quilts and blankets and never had a problem with it ripping or complaint about any of it. And a lot of times, when you're going to the beach, in the beach areas, them communities aren't allowed to have yard sales. So a lot of times people leave things there in a condo and the owners just donate it. So it's really a great thing to go to when you go over to the beach area, to go to nonprofit thrift stores,
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah, that's a good
I
idea.
found surfboards over there for hardly anything. I mean, a lot of your coastal things, furniture and stuff, or not so much the furniture, but a lot of your coastal things, And like I said, people
Yeah.
leave things over in their condo and they don't come back. They just donate it.
Oh, that's a good idea. So probably the thrift stores that are near
The beach areas.
the beaches.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's a good tip,
hmm
because then, they don't know what to do with all the stuff if people don't claim
Right.
them.
hmm St. Augustine, there's a really good one over there. St. Paul's.
I love
Yeah,
St.
that's
Paul.
really nice over in St. Augustine. Yeah. I find a lot
Yes.
of good linen in there. A lot of good linen.
Yes. I remember one day you and I went
Right.
there and I couldn't find Debbie. I'm looking all over the store, can't
And she's
find
back
Debbie.
in
And
the
then
back
all of a
room in
sudden,
the linens.
here there's a back room that's a linen closet, and there she is.
Yeah. I got a lot of things that
Yep.
day. Yeah.
You did. Yeah, that was a
That
fun
was.
one.
I mean, it's nice when you don't have to look something up. You know that you're going to get some good money for it.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the cart.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep. So,
Yeah. So since you've been selling now for quite a few years, do you have people approach you that want you to teach them how to
yes,
sell?
they want me to teach them. And it's really difficult because sometimes I really don't, I can't read. They change things so much, so I don't know how many free listings they get. And I really don't know, what to even say to them. Just sign up to eBay and sign up to your PayPal or put your bank account in there. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been in.
Had that happen.
Mhm.
Well, the great thing is now you can just tell people to go to to Google eBay Seller Academy. And, there's so much information now
Right.
that's free from eBay that, they practically hold your hand.
Right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
a good thing. That's good. Yeah, you did
Yeah.
tell me that, and I passed that on to the girl because, you're taking up a lot of your time to try to explain
Right.
things to people that they're not getting it. So it's a good idea
Yeah.
that they just go in there and just read, go step by step. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, what about consignment? Have you ever done consignment? Or?
I did sell for other people, and I don't know.
You don't like it?
No, because I don't like the pressure of somebody, If it's, I can't, I think you like to sell the consignment. I really don't. I never cared about selling consignment because it's too much pressure on me, But
Yeah.
it's good if you can, it doesn't bother you to sell it. Consignment.
No, it's not for
No.
everybody. It's not.
No, it's not.
But you've been in tough situations with consignment where people thought their items were worth millions.
Yeah,
and-
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they thought that it was worth so much. The one girl, that really did me in. She had boxes of clothes for her little girl, and they were nice clothes, don't get me wrong, but she really felt like they were worth a lot more than what I got for them. I think I got I don't know. I did a bulk, the box of auction, and they went for I don't know, maybe $70, $80. Well, she was really beside herself, so I just gave her $100, and I quit doing consignment after that. I just quit.
that did it.
me in. That did.
Yeah.
But they really feel like they're now. If they had Lily Pulitzer clothes or things like that, I would have sold them individually, but they weren't. They were your average children's clothes.
Yeah.
So and I think it's very hard to sell children's clothes. I do.
Do you?
I think so. I really don't like to sell children's clothes. There's just way too much competition.
Yeah. It's tough. You have to really know know
brand.
what brands.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you have little kids.
Right. And you don't really know the latest.
You don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to sell that.
Yeah.
I love to sell
I
men's
agree.
clothes, especially
Yeah.
tropical shirts. I do
Okay.
love selling them. Um, like I said, I get them for $2. I don't pay more than $2. Tommy Bahama shirts, Ralph Lauren shirts, high end shirts.
Okay.
But I do like selling them. Even like I said, if I put them for $9.99, I get my money back. The fees are paid, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it goes more than $9.99.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then when I put
Well, that's good.
one tropical shirt on, I want to make sure that I put 40 of them on because they're looking for tropical shirts, you know,
And they'll
and they combine
combine
the
shipping.
and I do sell a lot. I sell like 2, 3, 4 things at a time. So, at one person.
Nice.
Yeah. So I combine the shipping.
Now, when you're running these auctions, do people ever reach out and ask you if they could just buy it instead of
Yes,
bid?
and if there's a bid on it, I just tell them I'm sorry that there was already a bid and I can't stop it. It's not kosher, you know. But I have had a few things that ended, and they said, "Can we buy it for whatever?" And I said, "No. The least I want it was $9.99." So they buy it. You know, they do buy it.
Okay. Well,
But
there you
like I
go.
said, when I want to get rid of something, that's been sitting in the store for a year, 2 years, I'm like, all right, it's time to get rid of it. 99 cent start auction. And if it doesn't go, like I said, in 7 days, I just donate it. Just,
Okay, you
yeah,
just
you just
donate
got to
it. You
clear it
don't
out.
put it. Yeah.
Like every 6 months,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
definitely have to clear out. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, it'll be overwhelming. You just have too many
Yeah.
things. And then I
Yeah.
noticed one day
Yeah.
when I went to go look. Now I know you should, check things every so often, but one day I was starting to check my bins, and sometimes the stuff wasn't even listed; they were dropped, and I don't know how they
Yeah.
dropped. But people did say, in the blogs that their things have dropped off of eBay. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess it's everybody.
Yeah. No, it happens. They call it
Oh, is
ghosting
that right?
when you're, yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen on
Uh huh.
eBay. And this is another reason why I love List Perfectly, because all of my inventory is on their
Right.
site. So all my inventory is there. And then I leave it there. Then I send it out to eBay. I send it out to Poshmark and Macari and Depop, wherever, Grailed. There's so many different marketplaces. And then if it gets missing from eBay,
It's somewhere else.
that's okay.
Oh,
I can
okay.
relist it. I can leave it. Yeah, it's also somewhere else, but I can list it again.
Oh, okay.
And
Without going through the measurements and the pictures. Oh, that's
right,
great.
right.
That's great.
Yeah, without having to do all
Wow.
that. So
So now when
it
you
can be a
sell,
great.
that shirt sells and List Perfectly shuts it down, the whole thing, from all your stores?
Well, no, what it has, like, you'll get in your computer or in your phone, if you have it open, it'll go ka-ching and let you know that you had a sale on one of the sites, and then you go in and look. And so if I had the sale on eBay, then I can click some buttons, some tabs, and then it'll remove them from the other
Oh, okay.
sites. So it's
That's great.
yeah. So it's the automation is coming, but right now we still have to click. But it's so easy to do. It's not a big deal. It's just to make sure that you do it. So I just had some offers come in on a few things before our podcast today. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that so that I can remove them and
So how
get them
many stores
shipped.
do you have with List Perfectly? How many stores at one time do you have? Like,
Well, I have one eBay
right.
store, and then I have one Poshmark, one Etsy, one Macari, but they're all like, say, if you had that, you would call all of them the Southern Cottage. They would all be your
Okay.
brand. They would all be the same name.
Well,
And then, yeah. So List Perfectly is just like a data bank to hold where you type in all of your descriptions. It's like a template. It holds everything, and then it holds your measurements, everything.
That's great.
Yeah, and it really has advanced with the Pro plan because the speed has just, it helps me so
Oh, it would
much
have to.
because,
That's why
you know,
I didn't sell on the other sites, is because if it sells on this site, then I have to hurry up into all the places and go shut it down.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's a couple buttons,
no, that's
you know,
great.
you have to click, but yeah, it's not a problem. It's really
Yeah.
not. So it's fun. I've sold more items on Poshmark than I have
Is
on
that
eBay
right?
in the last month or so.
Wow.
Yeah. So Poshmark has opened up a lot of doors, but I would think your items would do well on Macari as well. You know, so Macari,
But no
I
one
think
else
my
runs an auction
items,
like eBay does, right? Oh, okay.
no,
That's okay.
no. So that's where your auction.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it would work for your current,
Right.
your
Right
your
now,
fixed
right.
prices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what I do is I just sent out a bunch of items on auction on Sunday for 7 days. And then what I do on List Perfectly is I take it down from all the other sites, and then I still have it on List Perfectly, and then I just adjust it that it's an auction instead of a fixed price. And then that way, if I run across, you know, we'll see how the auction goes, but if I run across another one of those items, it's still in my inventory. I can relist it right from my List Perfectly listing, even if I sold it last year or whatever.
Great.
So it holds all of your inventory.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's the other advantage. But yeah, so I didn't mean to sit here and pitch to
That's
you
fine. Hey, it's good.
this commercial break.
Yeah, that's good.
But you know me, I only promote what I believe in
that.
and what works. So
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that's the truth.
yeah, yeah. So, but no, over the years, it's been a pleasure for me to watch you grow
I
on
know.
eBay.
Well, you were the one
know,
that
and watch
taught me, and I thought, what is she teaching me this for? And then a few years go by, and I understood immediately. But
Yeah.
when I jumped in, I mean, I did have to learn the new rules, but
Yeah,
it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Really,
No,
it's
I
been
know.
a blessing. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. I remember when we first hooked up, when we first met, and you would be like, "Oh, you're always doing that eBay
Yeah, you're
thing."
always staying up all night doing that stuff. I don't know how you do that. Why would you do that? And then I understood. And then I understood.
Yeah, then you
Now
understood.
that's what I do. Well, I do
That's
limit
it.
myself to something, time. You have to.
Yeah, you
you
have
can
to.
get burnout.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right, right. And that's a good final tip, that you don't want to get burnt out, right?
You don't. And you try not to get discouraged. If you do, just leave the things alone and go do something else. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. But you enjoy it.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's like you learned through the years what to buy and what not to buy.
Mhm.
You take chances, but I really do enjoy it, especially when I know that it's going to cha-ching. I just throw it in my cart. Throw it in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you don't list
That's
it,
it. You don't love it, list it. That's what I say. If you don't love it, just list it. List it.
if you don't
List
love
it.
it, just
That's
list
it.
it.
But
Perfect.
I would honestly say maybe 2 things, maybe 3, that I have kept for myself through the years. But I have to make sure that it's not a personal thing. Everything I buy, it's getting sold.
Okay.
Because I can't do that hoarding stuff. I can't do that. I can't
Yeah.
stand it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I can't sell it, I'm not buying it. That's just the way it goes.
There you
I'm
go.
not doing it.
If you can't sell it,
Nope.
you're not buying it.
Nope.
Perfect.
You know, and you see all these
Perfect.
people, you know, you go to these church sales and thrift stores,
Yeah.
and these kids don't want their mother's stuff. All this vintage stuff, you know, they don't want that. So they donate it to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just look at the stuff and say, that's a shame. They collected this stuff all these years, and the kids want nothing to do with it. And they just
Yeah.
donate it all.
All right, Debbie. Well, thank you so
Well,
much
thank you
for joining me
letting me
today.
in.
Thanks for being my first
Yeah.
guest and helping me launch the Power Selling
right.
podcast.
It'll
So
take
I
right
hope
off.
everybody,
Yeah, there you go.
there you have it. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and introducing you to my best friend, Miss
All
Debbie
right.
Clinton.
Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.